Now let's get the video set up in Final Cut Pro. You should have downloaded the zip files by now. I recommend that you copy the files to an external hard drive. If you don't have a hard drive, you can move it to your Documents folder. The problem with editing your files on your Documents folder is that it'll use up computer space real quick. Now I'll double click my external hard drive to open it and I'll create a new folder. I'll click the Action drop-down menu and select New Folder. I'll name the file fcpx-short videos. So everything that we work on will be saved over here. Copy the zip file by dragging it over. It's always important to organize everything in folders because you want to keep everything in one spot. Now that I copy the file to my hard drive, I'll close this Finder window over here. It's time to double click the zip file to extract the video clips and the folder. The zip file should have opened up the folder by now. If you're curious to see how much space you have in your hard drive, go to View, Show Status Bar. You can see how much hard drive space you have available, and you can see the number of files in the current folder. Now I'm gonna trash the zip files because I'm not gonna need this. If you want to empty your trash for good, just right click with your mouse and empty trash. And yes, I am sure I want to empty the trash. I just want to show you all the video clips that we'll be working with over here. So let's get all this in Final Cut Pro. If this is the first time opening up Final Cut Pro 10, go to your applications and drag the app to your docs. So from here on, you can just open it in your docs panel. Once you click this icon, it'll bounce around until Final Cut Pro 10 is finally open. And you'll notice I'll close the Finder window if I'm not using it, just because I like to have my space clean and organized. Now give it some time to open up, and let's make sure your workspace is the same as mine so you can follow along with me. Go to Window, Workspace, and Default. And you can see everything looks just like mine. If you have another library open, you can close it by right-clicking the library and selecting Close Library. We are going to create a new library by going to File, New, Library. I'm going to name this Garcia Videos. You can give it your name if you want. This is where you'll create different video projects. You can go ahead and put your own last name. I want to save my library in the folder that I created and click Save. So this will create my new library, and if you right-click the library and select Reveal in Finder, you can see where the library is saved. The library file is saved here in the folder that I created. I'll go to View, Show Path Bar, and I can see the path of folders I need to select to go in there. I'll go back to Final Cut Pro, and in my library I have events. Final Cut Pro created an event for me. I want to rename it by selecting this event. I'll hit enter and name this Travel. This is where I'll put my travel projects. I'm going to show you another way to find where your events are stored in your drive. Just click the little smiley face icon which is in your Finder and navigate to your library. Right click and select Show Package Contents. Here you'll see the travel folder that's also displaying as your events. It's time to start importing the videos. I'll go back to Final Cut Pro. Click on this import button over here. Now let's search for Calico Ghost Town Compress folder and select it. Here are the settings I have on the right. You'll see I want the files to be imported in the travel event. I'll select Add to Existing Event and ensure that travel is selected. Under Files, I want to leave the files in place. I'll only copy the files if I have an SD card inserted and I want the video clips out of that SD card. Other than that, I don't think it's necessary to have another copy of the same files in my hard drive. It'll just use up more space. I'll have these keywords selected so Final Cut Pro can categorize them. You'll see the benefit of checking from folders in a bit. Let's go ahead and click Import Selected. Now that the files have been imported, under my Travel Event folder, Final Cut Pro creates keywords based on the name of the folder. Let me go ahead and look for the Calico Ghost Town folder and I'll show you the categories under Travel. I'm going to select here on Final Cut Pro 10, Short Videos, and I see the folder right over here. Now you can see the category under Travel. I'm going to click this disclosure triangle. And it makes a keyword based on the folder that I created for you. So if I had separate folders from my Disneyland trip and Calico Ghost Town trip, it'll put them in separate keywords and I can search by category. Other than that, I don't think I need to go into too much detail about categories because you're probably getting anxious to edit. Files are imported and now we can create our first project on the next step.